Welcome to the next episode of Universal Journey Talk. I am Kirk. What is going on? This is Eric, the allegorist. How we doing, man?
I'm just
All right. So, we are going to be talking today about our making our realities, and also about and having to deal with fear, because that's a little bit of what we were kind of talking about, in the last episode. So I guess, one of the things I was just going to start off with. Oh, hey, by the way, did you notice? I've got myself in a nice positive thing. I got my positive, bracelet on here and protector to make sure I block out all the negative energy.
That's awesome. Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's what's up.
Anyway, but so when we were last talking, it was, like I said, we were mentioning a bunch of different things, just kind of like in general, just to kind of get the the general tone of the show going. But then we kind of got into fear a little bit that I was kind of, we didn't have time to go into after that. So I just wanted to kind of take it from there, because the whole leading into this part here is about, once again, like making your own reality, which, like, what does that mean? I guess, there's many different interpretations of it, but being the creator, rather, of your own reality, what I've kind of found is, for one part of it is just simply being honest and genuine with yourself and presenting that to other people, which sometimes isn't as easy as it sounds, because it's like, or sometimes it could sound easy, but actually, sometimes it's not as easy as we want it to be. And here was a kind of a thing I was going to say from last time, which was, okay, so now let's say you're hanging out with the guys or something, whatever, and then your wife comes in or your girlfriend comes in the room or something, and the way you might have been talking to them in one way, now you kind of switch it up a little bit or whatever, because, why would you do that? Are you being kind of fake in a way around your, whoever your significant other is? Like, why can't you talk the way you do in one way around people, but then you may have to hide certain things about the way that you are, or the way that, you talk around other people? And so, Mike, what I'm kind of like leading into here is that if you're more honest about yourself, now sometimes that can be harder to do, because now people are, you're putting yourself out there, you're more vulnerable, people can judge you more. There may be things that they're like, oh, I didn't know you thought that way about this or that. But I think in the end, it's better to, whether people like certain things about you or they don't, to still know that you as your genuine self, your authentic self, rather than try and play it safe. Because when you play it safe, then you're just part of the cattle. You're just part of everyone just going along in life, and you're not really creating, once again, your own reality. Because now, if you are more open about yourself, which, once again, it can be uncomfortable, then other people become more comfortable around you, and then they start revealing things about themselves that they wouldn't talk to about other people. And I can relate to this a lot, because sometimes I'm a little bit too open, and I get myself. Yeah, I've definitely lost a decent amount of people on Facebook friends. That's for sure. But hey, you know what? At least you are getting what I'm thinking in the moment. Sometimes I know. Sometimes because I believe in this philosophy, I will post things that are a little bit over the top, possibly inappropriate. Maybe some people take offense to it, and it's like,
at least you're honest. At least you're putting it out there. At least it's in some ways. At least
right. You know what you're dealing with. You know what you're getting. I'm trying not to just be like, oh yeah, this and that, and haha, and not really, so you don't, having all these walls up, you don't really know who I am, because that's once again, leading into happiness and things like that, is that if you're kind of always having up walls and you don't want to talk about anything deeper than just like, oh hey, yeah, well, I got this at Home Depot and blah blah blah, and
How's the weather? Yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of cold.
yeah, yeah, the weather
Kind of.
again. You know what I mean? Um, there's a level where you're once again you're not revealing yourself really. So how can people get to know you, and then how can you start to create an environment of the type of people that you want to have in your life if they don't know who you are and you don't open yourself up, so they don't open themselves up to you, so you're just living this whole life of people that are just like in the middle. It's all just like safe relationships, but they're kind of like meaningless, and the whole purpose of life is to have meaning, you know, and to to have real connection, in many ways, mentally, spiritually, with relationships, as well as with the universe. There's all this, but but you have to kind of once again kind of put yourself out there a little bit. And so that was kind of like one of the parts that I was kind of like leading into. Another part that kind of led me into that, though, is some of the dangers I've been kind of feeling that are kind of happening around in this new time of technology. And this is another reason why I know why it's a little bit harder in some cases for people to be more open. And it's because anything you've ever posted or said or recorded or read or anything that you and I say on here or whatever, someone may have a recording of it, and then later on, 10 years from now or something, they'd be like, hey, wait, but you said blah, 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 blah. Oh, I got it right here. You know what I mean? And that to me is kind of dangerous because, all right, at least with the I don't know, the justice system, you at least get tried and you're innocent before proven guilty. In this new society with social media and stuff, everyone has an opinion, and that's great, but they're quick to throw it right at you, and then maybe even label you like or if they misunderstand you, or if you say something that's offensive to them, they'll go, oh, so you're a blah 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 blah, or this and that. And that's when all this stuff happens, like, oh, so and so is considered a racist, or so and so is considered this. And it's like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I can't voice what I'm thinking or maybe what I'm processing. And yeah, you know what, maybe I did say something that was a little stupid. Maybe I was drinking too much that weekend or something. But it's like, can we get a little bit of forgiveness? Can we, try to give people, realize that people have faults? Like there's a lot of good people that mean well, but sometimes, we all do things that can be a little stupid. Like I said,
well, you gotta remember,
I'm here.
What's up? Perfect. We're imperfect. We're gonna make, mistakes. Like I think sometimes, like, or especially like in this day now, like, even like what you say, being politically correct, and sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Usually, like in anything in life, we get the general idea. Give respect. You know what I mean? Get respect. But I think a lot of things we say, like, you got, people can be joking around, I think back 20, 30 years ago, I think people had maybe a better sense of humor. You know what I mean? In a sense, I think people are taking everything, like you said, chopping everything, dissecting everything you said and this, and you feel judged on it. And it's kind of eminent, in this day and age. You see it, throughout the world, and, politics and many other ways. But I think that it is something like, the more authentic you are, sometimes you do have that fear that you're going to be judged. You know what I mean? But I think at least having a platform or a place where you can express yourself with people that are like-minded people. I think that's something that's always a good place to start if you're uncomfortable, just coming out of your shell and whatever that looks like. And I think majority of us, to some degree, I think, ever since we were raised, what I mean, and we see, like, usually, like, there's a big difference from the way you act in your household, but the minute you go outside, it's it's like you're representative. You know what I mean? It's not really you, or when you go date somebody, You know what I mean? In the beginning, everybody's, kind of like put on a persona
Put on
of
their
you,
face. Right.
have you know what I mean, for a little bit. But then when you get to know each other, you start getting more, authentic. But then that relationship can also start taking a little change where, that's when you start getting, arguing because you're being real though. And
Right.
sometimes that it's better to settle your differences from authenticity. You know what I mean? If everybody's just a robot and, you're meeting a representative, like you said, you, um, it's you don't really get to know that person. You know what I mean? But but I also think there's it has its benefits as well. I mean, sometimes like maybe that's the treat. The more you get to know somebody and learn them, the treat is you get you get a deeper, more intimate relationship with that person. You know what I mean?
Right. Thanks for watching this segment of the full episode to be posted Saturday at noon. Much more to be discussed in the next part, so give this video a like, leave us your comments and questions for us to reply to in future episodes, and stay notified on the latest episodes by hitting the subscribe button.